Welcome back to the 20 Before 20 podcast. My name is Kevin Bessert. I'm part of the team here at 20 Front Street, and this is the April edition of our podcast. And I am super excited to be joined by Grace and Dan from the band Shallow Alcove. Grace, Dan, thanks so much for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shallow Alcove will be in downtown Lake Orion at 20 Front Street on April 26th with special guests Lighthearted and Ella Rose Getz. Tickets are still available on our website at 20frontstreet.com. So please jump on our website and grab those before they are all gone. So super excited. It will be your second time at 20 Front Street for Shallow Alcove. Your first visit was back in July of last year. Sold the room out. And that, I believe, was on your picnic tour. Now you come back, and it's the slumber party tour, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm hearing rumors of matching PJs. So what can we expect with the slumber party tour that's coming to 20 Front Street on April 26th?
It's going to be a blast. We are very passionate about making things an event. So we had to have the picnic tour theme, we had to have the slumber party tour theme, and we are going to be wearing pajamas. Everybody's been asking us, like, are you really going to wear pajamas on stage? Yes, we are. So if you want to come in pajamas, feel free to participate. It's going to be a slumber party.
That's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And I love the little themes because, I was there for the picnic one and loved that theme was tied into the show. So looking forward to the Slumber Party tour. And this tour, it kind of comes on the heels. I know you guys had a lot of new stuff going on. There's an EP coming out, I believe. And there was just a single released in March. Gnaw came out. So tell us a little bit about the singles that have dropped and the EP coming out.
Yeah, I mean, for the last year, I feel like we've just been doing the release thing and trying to get singles out as frequently as possible. And this EP is sort of just putting a bow on all that. There's a lot of intention that's gone into it. This is the first time that we've ever really sat down and made a full record with everybody in the band. It's been entirely collaborative. So that's been super rewarding. And there's a lot of firsts on this record. It's the first time we ever really live tracked the band. We've done piece by piece recording in the past, and this is the first time we've gone into a studio and just done it all live. Yeah, I think that this was mostly rewarding for at least me because it sort of proved that we could do what we've never done
Yeah.
before. And we could do hard things, and we could, see it through to the finish line. The last single, Gnaw, was completely collaborative as well as the next single coming out. And yeah, it's a different direction for us, but I think super fulfilling.
Well, you talk about that being some of the first, and that makes me kind of want to go back to the beginning and talk about how Shallow Alcove came to be. So, first and foremost, I guess, how did you two meet? I know a lot of it was you guys were at Syracuse, I believe. Was everyone from
Mhm.
the band at Syracuse?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
everybody does. It's so nice that you know stuff about us. I'm like, oh, I feel like we go way back. um, but yeah, we all met at Syracuse University. Dan and I met, um, I think it was maybe 2019, and we just met in like a class, um, and we were immediate besties. We bonded over Bon Iver, and
Okay.
we just realized that we were kindred. I feel like the scene at our school at the time was very much leaning towards like neo soul. That was kind of the popular like type of music to perform at like house parties and stuff like that. And we kind of felt like little outsiders listening to like super sad folk music. So we immediately glommed onto each other, and everything just happened pretty quickly after that. Like we all kind of just became a really tight friend group, and then we realized that we all listened to the same music, and just kind of started playing together. And it was a perfect situation because we were already a group of friends, and then we just decided that we're also super musically compatible. So like now, like 5 6 years later, it's an amazing feeling to be like, oh, like we're on the road with our best friends, the people that we would want to spend time with anyway, you know.
And so you all obviously had musical backgrounds previously, um, but So you all had musical backgrounds previously, but I did read that you said this is a friend's first band, which I think is a really cool phrase, and I'm sure it sounds a little cliche, but having met you guys the first time you came through 20 Front Street, that's something I felt right away. So, Grace, you just touched on that, but do you think that really was the start of it? Was that you were friends first, and that just made what's happened thus far so easy?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was just like it was like I was just talking about it with Jack, one of our other bandmates, like that was just the most magical time of our lives. Like we all met each other around the same time, and we became like us becoming friends was like the most intoxicating experience ever. Like we all were not even sleeping like that whole period of time because we'd rather spend time with each other
Sure.
than sleep. Like it was just like such a fun, like we all lived in the same neighborhood, like the university neighborhood of Syracuse, and like we would just stay up all night like playing music. Like and it was so much more important to us than anything else. And I also that's when I started dating my partner who's the drummer of our band. So like it all just kind of came together like immediately. Like and that's another thing people ask too, like, oh, was it weird? Like it's strange that you're dating somebody in your band. Like, is that weird? And it's like, no, we don't know it any other way. Like we
Sure.
all became friends, we started dating, and we became a band all at the same time. And it didn't feel like there was another option. Like it felt like every way it played out felt extremely organic and just like this is the way our lives are going to be now. Like it's not really a choice. It's just like this is what the universe
The way it
wanted,
was meant
you
to
know.
be, sure. So let's walk through
Yeah.
that process, kind of where it went from there. So you're playing in college, staying up all night, playing music together, but then eventually, college ends, and then kind of talk through the process there. I think you guys kind of split up to some
Yes.
some degree, but I do love
Hmm.
your story, and I know it eventually gets to where I believe it was Dream Song that went kind of viral, which of course that term gets thrown around, but kind of talk about how that process went post college.
Yeah, it was definitely it was kind of a crazy time because the whole COVID thing, the pandemic was going on, and it basically started to get to a better place nationally when we were graduating. Like, I think everyone had been like mostly vaccinated, and there was going to be an in-person graduation that was announced maybe like 3 weeks before it actually happened. So, I remember we were playing a lot of music together at that time. Like, finally put together like two shows for the end of the year that were all like outdoors. It was a whole, like, yeah, it had been like a year and a half since we'd all played. And we also put out our first EP at that time. This record called Acting Tough, and so there was a huge sense of accomplishment musically and in school because we got to the finish line. And then I remember that summer we all sort of were like, okay, we'll like try and get together and celebrate like our accomplishments and then also make some more music. And as the summer progressed into fall, it just became harder and harder. Like, certain people were moving to different places or were just stuck at home and weren't able to move yet, and it made getting together harder.
Sure.
Finally, maybe what, Grace, like in that fall or that winter you moved to Philly?
Yeah, I moved to Philadelphia, and then I think everybody else was in Jersey
Yeah. I
at
was
first.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And so once Grace moved to Philly, we sort of were like, this is really hard to get together, but we're just gonna do it. And over the next year or two in 2022 and 23, we sort of were just going like every 4 to 6 weeks. Either Grace would come to New Jersey or New York, and I'd go to Philly. And we were just like, we're gonna do it regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
And we got offered a tour opening for our friend Charlie Berg in April of 22, I think. And that was sort of like, when was that? Was that, Grace?
I suppose I can't even remember.
I think it was 22. Um, and that was sort of like the, I think the fire we needed a little of like, damn, this isn't all just like potential energy. Like it could lead to something.
So
Crowds are
that was
reacting
kind of the
to it.
first time kind of out on the road.
Very much the first time out on the road.
Gotcha.
Um, and then, of course, half of our band was still in school. So Grace and I were sort of just like chipping away at the block. Um, and eventually they all got out of school. By then, we had sort of a flow going. We had some management helping us, and yeah, once everyone was out of school, it got a lot easier because by then Grace had her life sort of like her routine figured out in Philly. I guess I had just moved to New York or something. I was sort of getting my life figured out. I don't know. It all started to work out a little better.
And then where in that process, the dream song kind of hit for you guys? Where was that in that process? And kind of walk me through that, because people do talk about things going viral, but what was that like for you? How did you guys hear about that or understand it? And were you kind of watching it as it went? What did that look like?
After college, we thought that people would always tell us, like, oh, it's cute, you're a college band, that's not going to last forever. But we were committed to making it last forever, like, no matter what. So,
Yeah.
like, this dream song kind of hit, like, after, like, a couple years of us really trying to figure out, okay, we all live in different places. Some of us were in school and then had to graduate, but at this point we finally all had like moved out of our parents' houses and all were graduated. So everybody was on the same page. The stars were aligned, but ultimately Dream Song was completely an accident. I think I posted it because I didn't have anything to share that day. Like I try to post as much as I can and I didn't have anything. I think I was supposed to be promoting something else, possibly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't have the thing I'm supposed to share. I don't have anything relating to whatever song is coming out next of ours. But I woke up with this song in my head today and I'm just going to share it while it's like a video of me curling my hair and I'm just singing the song.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought to myself, like, this is such a shitty piece of content. Like, nobody's gonna want to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like an offshoot for me. I was like, oh, this isn't great, but I'll just post it, whatever. And then that was the only, like, the first time that anybody ever paid attention to anything we ever did, which was like really, really crazy. And then it just kind of kept going from there. Like, we kept sharing it and it kept reaching more people. And I think the like the mysticism of like me being like I this song reached me in a dream really like kind of captivated people, which
Yeah.
like is an absolutely true story. Like I seriously like texted Dan that morning like a sleepy voice memo of me being like I just woke up from this dream and this is in my head. Like
Yeah.
it was very much a real thing and I think that's so cool because like I feel like at that point we didn't have any proof that this would work in any capacity. And like I remember feeling really insecure, like I don't know if this is going to work. Am I putting in my time to something that is like a pipe dream? Like and I was trying so hard and like so obsessively to make this thing work. And then the thing that worked was like something that I didn't even have to try for and was literally like bestowed like in a dream. Like it's like such a metaphor
Yeah.
that I've like looked back on so many times being like you do not have to like try so hard. Like just let these things come to you and like believe that it will work out. Like
Yeah, and what a great lesson for younger artists and people coming up, that, there is so much pressure with social media and trying so hard, and it was something that you least expected that kind of finally caught traction. But with that,
yeah.
because you posted it the morning you woke up with, you know, something from a dream, was there then like this speed to like, oh, we have to get this recorded and get it out there because we are gaining traction? Was there a lot of pressure all of a sudden to like, man,
Yeah.
something finally caught, but now we have to run quick to kind of capture it while it's there?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Grace sent me that first snippet, like the whole first verse. And then like maybe a day or two later she sent me the bridge section. And all of this was a cappella. Like there are no chords, no
Yeah.
music written, nothing under it. Um and I remember we probably within a week had the full form of the song that felt good, but we didn't have a second verse. And actually I guess we took like a month of not posting Dream Song after it was like mostly finished. We were taking our time with it. And finally our manager or management sat us down, who are like also our very good friends, and we're
Sure.
like,
Sure.
hey, it's been 2 months since this went viral. Like, you either want it or you don't. And we're like, we're writing the second verse. And they were like, that's too damn bad. Like, you gotta finish the song.
They
Um,
kicked our butts.
yeah. Yeah. So it was really like lucky that people cared, honestly. But we finished like 90% of the song within like the first week of it being drummed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the pressure when something like that finally happens. That, yeah, you do need to capture it while you can. So obviously,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of successes since then. One of the things, you guys again being such great friends and kind of going from writing in bedrooms and basements, and I like one of the things I read too, that you guys kind of write with like a diary type lyricism, that it seems very intimate, but now all of a sudden something takes off like that. Now you're on a larger stage, you're out on the road. Was there any challenges there that, you know the way you write has to change because now you're speaking to a larger audience?
I feel like that can totally be like intimidating. And yeah, I mean, I feel like we've gone to great lengths to try to protect our writing process and make sure that it doesn't get in the way, because like I don't know if that would be healthy for us, to
Sure.
like that pressure. Like I feel really like I can get super anxious about that. Like
Yeah.
just worrying that people, and it's not even like, weirdly enough, it's not even strangers that are going to hear it. It's like mostly like the people in my life. So almost like I feel like nothing has changed for me
Yeah.
because like I feel like a lot of times I'm like, oh, strangers hear my music, they don't know. But sometimes when it's like people in my life, I'm like, oh God, you guys are making connections. You know my history. Like you're thinking about like what this means in the context of my actual life. And I hate that. Like I almost wish I could hide my music from the people I do know, and then as many strangers want to listen to it, I'm like, go ahead. I kind of don't even care. It's like I'm like, oh, my mom's gonna hear this. What's she gonna think?
That makes complete sense. So there's so many more questions I'd like to ask, but I'm looking at the clock and I know we're going to run out of time before I get to everything. So a couple of other things I
Yeah.
do want to touch on. I know it's again been an exciting year. I know in the fall you guys got to go out with the Staves, I think, which were big influences for you guys.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm sure that was cool. And how was that tour? I'm sure in an opening slot like that, picked up a lot of new fans from being on that tour.
Yeah. It was genuinely amazing. Like it was also in a weird, like a super weird time because we started the day after the election, and we were driving all over the country. You know,
Yeah.
every place we went was different, and yeah, it was like the perfect storm. Like we, the Staves are the nicest people we've ever met. They are truly like, as musically talented as they are like the most compassionate, most loving, and like funniest people we've ever spent time with. And it was also really um, kind of mind blowing to watch like our two of our biggest inspirations every night.
Yeah.
Um, and it was probably the first tour we've done in the U.S. opening for like a proper like acoustic band, where the audience is like kind of sat and listening and it's intimate, and that was amazing. We also did it all out of my little Outback, just four of us driving around, and that was really nice because I don't know, like the tour was super spaced out. Like there wasn't a lot of like long overnight drives, and we just got to like properly road trip across the country. And of course, we wrapped it up the day before Thanksgiving and drove from Austin to New Jersey in one shot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Um,
that was really
A
something.
true
But
road
that
trip.
that tour,
yeah,
that was a road trip. I think though that that tour is my favorite thing we've ever done, like as a band, and it like really rerouted my brain chemistry, because I feel like at the time I like when you do something and you go viral, like we just talked about,
Yeah.
you go from nothing to 100 all at once, and then that goes away.
Yeah.
Like, and at that time we were experiencing a lot of insecurity about like, oh, we did it once, like, are good things coming for us again?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like things have slowed down. Like are we gonna be okay? Like are we still gonna be able to like do meaningful things with our music? And then that tour came and it was just like the most like perfect thing, because it wasn't even like it was like a huge tour in terms of like rooms. Like the rooms were like great size and like bigger than crowds we'd ever played for, but like it wasn't like, it didn't feel like an insane
Jump from where you were.
like we had just come from
yeah,
Europe
Yeah.
or whatever. It was like so much pressure and scary. And then we did that and I was like, okay, if we can do this, like just having that tour under our belts and like knowing that we had been on tour with people that we like looked up to for like a decade, I was just like, okay, if we did this and nothing ever happens after this tour, I'll be happy. Like I
yeah.
don't need to do anything other than this tour. Like I won't ask for anything else. Like
We also only had 14 days from when we got the call to when we left.
So not even
So
much time to process that it was happening. You just had to hit the road.
No,
yeah, like
no.
we basically had time to do our laundry and pack.
But what a great feeling to come out of it in the way Grace
Yeah.
described, because from there it's just such a great place to move forward, having done that and not really wanting or expecting much more. That's a great place. So as we wrap up, what does the rest of 2025 look like for Shallow Alcove? Obviously, we talked about the slumber party tour you're going to be out on, but what's the rest of the year look like for the band?
Yeah, we've got a couple opening slots coming up. Can't get too specific about it yet.
Sure.
I don't want to jinx anything,
Yeah.
but a couple opening things coming up. Also some more headline dates. We're gonna try our best to get to some markets that we really love, like down south, that we're not hitting this time around, and also some markets out west that we've never been to. So that's definitely a goal of ours. And then we're working on a longer project.
And anything summer? I know summer's festival season. Anything festival wise that you guys will be out and about on?
Not quite yet, I don't
Okay.
think, but time will tell.
Sure. All right. Well, we are coming to the close here on the 20 before 20 podcast. 20 minutes always goes by so fast, but I always do like to end
I
I
know.
always do like to end the podcast with the same question I ask all the guests, and that is, what are you listening to right now? Is there music right now that's getting heavy rotation in your playlist or is inspiring you right now? What's something you're listening to right now that's kind of blowing your mind?
Mm. Um, I've been listening to a lot of the artist Leif Vollebeck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know him, but he is amazing, and he like his music definitely really inspired our upcoming single that we just announced like an hour ago, and I've been listening to him absolutely nonstop.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've been listening to a bunch of just like old comforts like Fleet Foxes, Adrienne Lanker, and Big Thief, a bunch of Elliott Smith, and actually a band that's a little newer for me. This band Wonder Horse.
Okay.
I've been obsessed with them.
All right, I'll definitely have to check them out. And I always
Yeah.
I always tell my guests on this, that question at the end is pretty selfish question, because I'm just always looking for new music. I want to know what you guys are listening to,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I know what I need to add to my playlist. But once
Love
again,
that.
I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time to do this. We're super excited that you included 20 Front Street on the Slumber Party tour. So once again, Shallow Alcove will be in Lake Orion at 20 Front Street on April 26th. Tickets are still available at 20frontstreet.com. You heard it at the beginning of this podcast. You're welcome to come in your PJs. They're going to be in theirs. So we look forward to seeing you guys. Thanks so much, and safe travels to 20 Front Street. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon, Kevin.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.